Okay guys, we are going to try to sum up Game of Thrones in 2 minutes. Yes, we're insane, and we know that. Okay, here we go. Wait, there are a lot of spoilers for seasons 1 through 6 coming, so I don't know, you've been warned. Okay, Game of Thrones is set mostly in Westeros, which is really big and has a giant wall running along its north border and where everyone is British. This is Ned Stark. He and his wife Catelyn have 5 kids: Robb, Sansa, Arya, Bran, and Rickon. He also has a son Jon with another woman, but it later turns out that that's his nephew. Don't ask. When the show starts, Ned goes to work for his friend King Robert Baratheon and takes Sansa and Arya with him. When Robert dies, Ned figures out that Robert's wife Cersei had been cheating with her brother Jaime, twincest, and all her kids aren't really Robert's. Ew. Ned's killed to shut him up. Cersei's obnoxious kid Joffrey becomes the new king. Ned's eldest son Robb tries to start a war with Joffrey, the obnoxious new king, to get revenge for his dad, but he and his mom Catelyn end up getting slaughtered at Robb's own wedding. This is the Red Wedding, you've heard about it maybe? This is not before Catelyn meets Brienne of Tarth, a warrior lady that keeps trying to find and protect Catelyn's other kids, but mostly isn't successful. Ugh, it's hard out there for a warrior. When Arya goes on the run and becomes this kick-ass warrior to avenge her dad, she joins up with a guy named the Hound. No, he's not cuddly, and eventually she goes blind. But she gets revenge on the dude that killed her mom and brother, and that's pretty awesome. While all this is going on, Jon starts working for the Night's Watch, the group that guards the wall at the top of Westeros. Remember we talked about it before? They have to worry about this tribe called the Wildlings, and also White Walkers, who are like giant, smart, cold zombies. Jon ends up hooking up with this wildling called Ygritte, and when he tries to make nice with her people, he gets killed by the trainer for the Night's Watch. Rude! Ned's youngest boys, Bran and Rickon, have to go on the run when Ned's former ward / hostage Theon Greyjoy, another very long story, takes over their home of Winterfell. They escape with a giant named Hodor, who was the original Groot, and Bran starts to get psychic Jedi training from Max von Sydow. The remaining star kid, Sansa, is basically a Lifetime movie on speed. She's betrothed to the obnoxious King Joffrey, who abuses her, but when he marries this cougar Marjorie, Sansa's promised to Joffrey's uncle Tyrion. But when Joffrey's poisoned by Diana Rigg, Sansa flees only to marry a different nutjob, Ramsay Bolton, to save her home of Winterfell. Looney Tunes Ramsay took Winterfell from Theon, who he enslaved, and cut his ding-dong off. Eventually, Sansa and back from the dead Jon took Winterfell back, and Sansa let Ramsay's dogs eat his face off. Yeah! Remember Cersei, the queen who was boffing her twin brother? Ew. Well, once her eldest son Joffrey bit it, her younger son Tommen took over, and Cersei schemed to get rid of her enemies. It caught up with her, and she was forced to walk through town naked and get a haircut, which actually looked pretty good on her. Then she blew up most of her enemies while drinking some wine. She's always drinking wine. Tyrion, Cersei, and Jaime's brother, who's the smartest of all, spent the first few seasons being drunk, wise, or nice to the underdog. He eventually killed his dad while his dad was sitting on the toilet, and fled Westeros after Cersei tried to frame him for Joffrey's murder, which he didn't do! Meanwhile, across the Narrow Sea, Daenerys Targaryen spends the first 4 seasons plotting so she can go back and claim Westeros for herself, since her family ruled once upon a time. This mostly involves marrying Khal Drogo, aka Aquaman, amassing armies, raising 3 dragons, and not interacting with any main characters until season 5 when Tyrion joins her cause. There's way more that we did not get into, and basically everything has murder and sex, but we promised 2 minutes and we're now at not 2 minutes. It's a lot of show, guys. Well, you know, I did my best. Anyway, just go watch Game of Thrones. It's really good.